everyone! So welcome to another episode of GTV. And today we have another kind of, parang iba yung setup natin. Okay, iba yung setup natin. Because me and EJ are planning to do reaction videos on Startup. So Startup is a Korean drama. And yeah, so maybe EJ, gusto mo introduce kung sino tayo? Like, bakit, wala lang. Bakit
Sige,
gusto
sure.
natin gawin yung reaction videos?
Actually, it's not that we want to do this. Ginger wants to do
yes,
this.
I want to do it. So I'll claim it.
But yes, I mean, we are co-founders of Taxumo. It's a fintech regtech startup here in the Philippines. We've been around a little bit, and there are some things that resonate with us, or like get a reaction from us dito sa startup na show, no? Of course, we're coming from our own experience, and it's completely valid that some people might come from a different experience, but we're gonna talk from our experience as startup founders, and whether ano yung pinapakita dito sa show makes sense, whether this is a good template for you to base like future
Your
decisions
business
on. And then we'll just give our thoughts based on that. So that's
So for this episode, we're gonna start with season 1, episode 4. So in this episode, this is where the Samsung tech guys are talking to different kinds of investors who are interested, kasi ito yung part na nalaman nilang nanalo sila in one of the competitions, diba? So yeah, let's watch it. All right. So okay, game.
I think some observations lang on my end. It seems that when you're presenting something, you want to make sure that it is catered towards your audience or customized for your audience. No? So I think, and this is something that we see all the time. This is something we were guilty of before we had just one presentation, and that's what we used for everyone. But we got better results, which is, of course, you'll get better results once we started customizing it for investors, for users, so basically yung amin dati was very much for users. I think what you're seeing here is that the presentation was geared towards technologists, no, other people who are same as them. Ngayon yung question ng investor na I'm interested in how you're gonna make money. I think it's very clear that there's a mismatch between nasaang stage yung hinahanap ng investor versus where they actually are. Because there are investors, and mainly the earlier investors, the angel investors, they are more comfortable without without a very clear model yet. Ideally, of course, you are able to show some kind of traction, and you're able to show some kind of growth, and based on your experiments, this is what will make sense for us to grow, stuff like that, no. But the challenge there is that hindi siya. I think they were very early kasi they were just they were just starting. They just won this competition and they didn't know what they were gonna do with it. If you watch Silicon Valley, it's what happened was very different. Silicon Valley, they sort of did the same thing. They won this compression algorithm also in like dun sa TechCrunch na demo day, no? So parang ganun din yung nangyari. But you'll notice that doon they had investors. They got an investor who saw the potential of the technology. I think a lot of people nahuhuli sa bibig nila, sa salita nila. So, if I was like Dosan in that situation, I wouldn't want to go with that investor because obviously the investor doesn't see where this could go. The investor couldn't pitch into what vision can be created out of such a technology. Because I think they were just basically dumb money. na, oh, ito yung pera namin, lalagay namin, and then kayo na bahala. There are investors like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that at this very early stage, you want people who will be able to contribute to your business, and not just, as much as possible, hindi lang basta money. So the difference and diversity of ideas, especially from their point of view, because they're very different, they're external, it always helps in refining what your vision and what your direction should be.
Yeah. Tapos I've noticed also, kasi, well, given the situation, no, that they won, and then a lot of these investors were lining up in their office, like trying to get an appointment with them. I think since they were caught off guard as well, parang very one-way yung conversation. I've noticed lang na very one-way yung conversation. You being the owners of your business, you obviously know more about your business, and you want also to know more about the person that you're talking to. No? So I just sort of noticed that they just talked about the name of the company. 'Di ba? So parang, 'di ba? Ano yung ibig sabihin ng Samsung Tech? And then they explained. But you being the business owner, dapat you're also sort of like curious about sino ba silang investor, what have they invested on prior to you, are they good investors, diba? Kasi parang you want to learn more about the person that you're talking to as well, and they're gonna be partners with you moving forward and growing your business. So gusto mo naman, syempre, someone also who, as EJ mentioned, no, someone who sees the vision. Parang because nga, hindi mo sila kilala, you don't know where they're coming from as well. So when you start presenting, there might be like a miscommunication, or parang you don't meet eye to eye just because you're coming from two different worlds. Diba? Ganun. Okay, so let's watch it again.
I think this is yung nakikita nyo yung like yung mga VCs humihiga. Most of the time, the people we met are not the investors themselves. Especially kung VC ka meet nyo, we would meet like analysts and junior people, who then like you get sort of the gist of your business and like get the details. And then normally what happens is that they would bring it to like an investment council meeting in their firm, and then they will discuss kung ano yung next steps based on that. No, they choose kung ano yung mangyari. So it's parang kasi diba parang weird mga bata nag-invest gano'n. But actually that's in our experience we did meet with a lot of like analysts, juniors, and everything.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Good observation.
Yan na.
Mm-mm.
Ang hindi ko gets, what were these investors expecting?
Oo nga,
I mean,
diba?
they know the guys want some competition.
Oo,
Did they think this is like what?
AI
Are they,
or machine learning
yeah,
competition?
are they investing in like a dev house? Was that what they were looking for? Diba? So parang I don't really understand also
Why?
how the VCs were portrayed here. In our experience, hindi naman sila ganito ka-clueless. But that may be because
Yeah.
we normally, kasi walang masyadong, I mean, the landscape in the Philippines in terms of investment is still very new.
Yeah.
So the people who dabble in it have a bit more experience, or they usually come from like Southeast Asian firms like based in Singapore, mga ganon. So yun yung, so medyo mas may experience. So baka this is true in Korea, I'm not sure. Pero that's interesting, no? I mean, what were they expecting?
Yeah, and like the team won an international competition. 'Di ba? So parang I mean, give it to them na there's something there, 'di ba? It's just siguro like kailangan lang hasain, I guess, kasi group of developers sila. So I guess coming from like a VC perspective, siguro dapat alam nila kasi I mean, you're talking to 3 developers, 'di ba? So who are new to this environment. So, 'di ba? Sort of medyo, alam mo na, like,
at this, yeah, at this early stage, I think this is very early stage, and you would know.
sila.
I mean, just look at the office; it's obviously very early stage, di ba? So there are certain expectations that probably you should have already. Pero yun, anyways, I'm not sure, but ganun yung tingin nila. Okay, continue.
Okay. Ay, meron ba tayong instance na gano'n? Like, they take pictures of that?
Well, honestly, if you're putting it on slides, be prepared to like give out
Share
that
it.
information. No, what's happening here is something called brain rape. So the whoever it is that pretend what the people who were pretending to be investors, I guess in this case, they were just sort of getting ideas from you, and it's very real. Totoo yan. It does happen. We have had experience with something like that. Pero yun nga, you have to be very clear about what is proprietary, what's your secret sauce. But having said that, no, I think that if yung secret sauce mo, especially this, no, kasi this is like a secret sauce nila is basically technology that can be patented. No, so this is like they have to be very careful with their IP. But there are a lot of startups there where the secret sauce is in the founders, in the team. Ganon. It's in how yung mindset or the way of working ng team, no. And that's interesting. At the end of the day, kasi the danger that I'm seeing with something like this is that it's very product focused. It's very product centric, and it's there's two things that happen when you sell your product. You have to have the product to sell, and you have to have the market who will buy it. So it's very possible that the product you have may morph pa into something that the market will accept. It might be in a form that's very understandable for like techno. And I think in later episodes they did that. They turned it into something that is more approachable and mas gets. But yun, no. The technology you have, especially at this very early stage, that's not it. Magbabago pa yan. And yun. And with respect to brain rape, that happens. Sometimes what happens is that you have a product out there, and you have firms, other companies who are very fast copiers. May mga ganyan. So if you innovate, and then makikita mo after like a month, meron na rin silang ganon. So we see that, no? And it's reality. I mean, there's nothing illegal with what they're doing unless they're like stealing your IP, but they're not, diba? So really, I think though, if you, however, are the one with the original ideas, and you're the one who understands where those ideas should be based on, where should they be coming from, I think you will always have that advantage. But at the end of the day, I think the challenge here is that being first mover is not necessarily an advantage. Especially if you have a very new category, it's a challenge because you have to define that category first. No?
Yeah.
So,
And siguro let's talk about NDA as well, no? Like yung non-disclosure agreement. Kasi from what I learned, parang not a lot of VCs want to sign those things, 'di ba? Parang ganun no. Have we ever like given mga VCs NDAs?
No.
No, we never Alam ko we never.
Some angels we have.
Yes, some angels, but VCs normally, especially the big ones, no, they hate signing those things. In this case, I guess yun nga, what they missed lang was really knowing sino yung kausap nila. Because like being knowledgeable about yung kanilang technology, parang sana tinanong nila really like sino ba yung mga investors na to, and why are they so interested with taking pictures, diba? Or getting a copy of the presentation. And tama si EJ, it's not about really sharing, no. It's fine, no? Kasi at the end of the day, it's really execution that matters. Pero if it's your unique selling proposition, and in this case, we see that yun yung proprietary sa kanila na product, and then don't share it, diba?
I mean, think about it, no? I mean, they have the fastest image recognition or whatever AI algorithm, diba? But let's say you have the second fastest, and let's say it's slower by 1 second, and it is it's packaged in a form that is more understandable. So like having the best technology is not always the sauce, no? Yun nga, kailangan you also package it well. So that's the ano. With respect to yung NDA na nabanggit ni Ginger, I'm of two minds about it because for me, if the firm wants to give, I mean, and when I talk about firm, like it's like when the corporation or the company or your startup, when you want to have an NDA, I don't see anything intrinsically wrong about it.
Mm-mm.
It's just some kind of weird etiquette thing, which I hate. Because it is unspoken, it is unwritten,
Yeah.
and for me, things like that shouldn't be expected. Pero that's just me. Pero yun nga, yun nga, may mga ganon, may mga, no, how dare you NDA me? May mga, parang, okay, di wag. So, pero that could also be a test for you kasi, is this person someone who's really interested?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that
Actually,
could
that's
be,
true, no?
I mean, always know that whatever interaction you have with these people is a learning opportunity about them. You're not just trying to get their money, you're also assessing if they're the right people to get money from. And yung different interactions na yun will tell you whether they're people you want to work with.
Yeah. Kaya talagang important no, nakukuha ka from this, EJ, and from what you mentioned and from the episode. It's really about like interacting also. Kasi hindi nga pwedeng one way eh. Kasi wala kang makukuha from it eh. And normally, dun sa, you'll go through a lot of investors and VCs. Kami, we went through like hundreds, I suppose, no, before we, ganun no. we went through a lot of investors. And what we've noticed is that we grow we grow after each conversation. We get to learn different things from different people. So take it as not new end goal mo isn't really just about the money, isn't really just about sustainability at the end of the day, which obviously all of us want, no? But it's really like also getting their thoughts on how to improve your product, improve your service, improve your company, or siguro no, kasi maganda rin na parang diversity, diba, in terms of like thinking. And they've seen a lot of companies already, a lot of portfolio, they handle a lot of portfolio companies. So they know what to expect. So it's also siguro from the founders na rin to ask, diba, to ask and try to like, learn from the experience. Yun. Okay, so I guess that's it for today's reaction video on Startup, the Korean drama. So watch out for other scenes that we will react to. So we're not doing this on a per episode basis, no, but really like getting scenes that we want to react to. Why? Because we want to.
Kasi feeling namin gusto nyo makita. Hindi, pero,
no,
hindi, kasi I mean, it's very interesting, no? This whole world was completely new to us as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think si Ginger nga sabi niya she was team Jumpong, ano pangalan nun? Team ano ka?
Team Gpyong.
Ako, I was saying that
I
sort of relate to the other guy better.
Kay Nam Dosan.
Si Dosan, yan.
Because
he's clueless. So parang medyo I mean there is a part of that because this is all new and actually what we're doing, or normally if what you're trying to do, if it's novel, there is no precedent for that. So you sort of will not naman stumble, but you will have to discover it. You will have to discover how to do your business. And you know that's the challenge.
And it's also interesting to see. I know a lot of people are doing reaction videos, no, or vlogs on Startup as well, and it's interesting to see because like we're a couple from the Philippines, so it's nice to see also other founders, startup founders from different parts of the world reacting to this show, right? So yeah. So if you like this video, please click on like, share, subscribe, and click on that notification bell for more reaction videos like this. Again, this is Ginger and
EJ.
Have a great day. Bye.